Welcome to Agenda Edina, a news program summarizing the actions taken at City Hall that affect you most. I'm your host, Dorothea Marty. Edina police officer Jake Heckert is being honored for his success in arresting drunk drivers. Officer Heckert received recognition from the Minnesota Department of Public Safety's Office of Traffic Safety for achieving his fourth hat trick, a term used by the department when an officer arrests 3 impaired drivers in one shift. Heckert was hired in 2015 after the Edina Police Department received a grant from the Office of Traffic Safety to help focus on DWI enforcement. In 11 months, Heckert apprehended 145 impaired drivers. In 2016 alone, he has achieved 4 hat tricks. Those arrests were made on February 11th, March 31st, April 16th, and May 18th.
So the biggest thing is a lot of times they run right into you. I get a majority of mine off of simple speed stops, just running speed radar, stopping for 10, 15, 20 miles per hour over. And a lot of times the impaired drivers aren't able to control their speed because they're so involved in trying to think about keeping their vehicle in between the lines, not driving off the road, looking for other distractions, that they're forgetting that they're pushing down the gas pedal too hard and they're speeding away.
Heckert is the first officer in Minnesota to receive 4 hat trick awards from the Office of Traffic Safety since the inception of its program in October 2014. The officer receives a hat and a pin for his or her first hat trick and a hockey stick for each one thereafter. Heckert is one of 12 DWI grant officers in the state, 9 of whom work in the metro area. Construction has begun on the expansion of the South Metro Public Safety Training Facility. The training facility is jointly owned by the cities of Edina, Eden Prairie, and Bloomington, and the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport Police Department. It provides a variety of police and fire training opportunities in a 28,000 square foot, 2-building campus on a 3.5-acre site in Edina's Braemar Park. An expansion of the facility has been in the works since 2008. The project consists of a new 100-seat classroom. The lobby and office area will be redesigned to better accommodate public users of the facilities. The lunchroom and breakout area will be expanded, storage will be added, the women's room remodeled, and front entrance expanded.
With this new space, we'll be able to have more joint ops training, particularly with law enforcement, where we can bring in not only our own agencies, but perhaps a number of other area, police agencies and or fire agencies to work together to do some larger training events.
The $1 million project is expected to be complete later this year. Over the last 5 decades, many teams have helped cement Edina High School as a sports dynasty. On their way, one man has been witness to more Edina wins and losses than any other. Edina TV's Matt Koskinen recently met up with John Sherman on the sidelines.
As the saying goes, do what you love, and you'll never work a day in your life. Sun Current sports editor John Sherman is a living embodiment of the statement.
Growing up, my 2 main interests were sports and writing, so I kind of combined those 2 into sports writing.
After college, Sherman got a job at Sun newspapers.
I guess they liked my work, and I've been here ever since, for almost 44 years later.
Early in his career, he considered transferring to a daily newspaper.
I enjoyed what I was doing so much that it didn't make sense for me to leave at any time. And I still enjoy it. One of my old publishers, Gene O'Brien, said, 2 things about this job, son. You'll never make a lot of money, and you'll never have a dull day. So far, he's been right on both counts.
Over the years, John has developed a special eye and penmanship for covering local sports.
He also manages to weave feature stories in with game coverage, which is nice because a lot of times, particularly at the high school level, you're not going to see a lot of high schools get everyday game type coverage, which John will do, but he manages to tell the stories behind the stories really well.
Well, congratulations, Onyx. Nice job. Davis, nice job. How about the
Just his influence on Edina and Edina sports. I know other coaches say the same thing, that just his positivity in those weekly phone calls, and we could drop 2 straight and then John will kind of put things in perspective on a Sunday night, and it's just it's a phone call I look forward to.
Recognizing the important part sports play in Edina's history, Sherman helped create the Edina Sports Hall of Fame.
And we've recognized so many of the great Edina athletes from the past, and we never run out of good candidates for the Hall of Fame.
The landmark women's sports judgment, Title IX, went into effect the same year John started at the Sun, fall of 1972.
Probably written more, in fact, I'll say this straight out, I've written more girls' sports stories than anybody in the history of the state of Minnesota. And I've enjoyed doing it. I believed right from the start that the girls' sports should be covered just like boys' sports. And I've done my best to give the girls' sports equal coverage ever since.
He cares about people, and he cares about his coverage, and he cares about the schools that he covers, and that's probably the number one thing. He just cares about what he's doing, and he does a good job.
My best advice is find something you love doing, because then it's not work. It's your job is your hobby, and that's the way it's been for me.
Some words of guidance from an icon of Edina sports. I'm Matt Koskinen for Edina TV.
Sherman is the first sports editor to be Grand Marshal of Edina's 4th of July parade. Thanks for watching this episode of Agenda Edina. I'm your host, Dorothea Marty.